Yes, my friend. My friend. Hello, my friend. Hello? Hello, my friend. Hello, my friend. Are you here to see another video, my friend? Okay, my friend, I'll give you another video. So, this video is why mutable signs are ain't. So, we're talking about mutable signs now. So, if you don't know what a mutable sign is, do your fucking homework. I ain't about to sit and explain this. But what I can quickly give you is tell you that mutable signs are Virgos for earth signs, Sagittarius for fire signs, and Gemini for air sign, and my favorite sign, Pisces for mutable. Right? So these are the mutable signs. Mutable, in a nutshell, without explaining whatever, mutable means changeable. This sign is not as fixed as a like a Taurus or or they're not as cardinal, meaning that they're not as outward. Um, they're not, you know what I'm saying, it's fixed either, so they're not necessarily stuck in their ways. So, but in some regards, they can be. But for the most part, these people typically don't like conflict. They, you know what I'm saying, they don't like, um, you know what I'm saying, back and forth and shit like this. They're kind of changeable. They're kind of agreeable. It's not, they're flexible, typically, for the most part. But this could be a good thing in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody likes somebody stuck in their ways. A lot of times people want to be around people that, are fucking flexible. They, you know what I'm saying, open to new ideas, open to change. This normally would be a good thing. Problem with that is that, like, this can be a bad thing when it's not, when it's imbalanced. People don't know that, these are the traits and the things that pull at them. So, like when you get with that, a lot of times you get too much of the natural element of what you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times what you're dealing with is somebody who can't find a solid foundation. You also find somebody who also is repeating their patterns, will make the same mistakes over and over again. Because they're not learning from their mistakes. So, in mind you, a lot of times people don't even think that they are making mistakes per se. It's also very difficult for these people to apologize because they're not necessarily caught up in a lot of times in the egotistical things because they have a certain perspective and that they think that they can see something that you're not seeing in regards to like a bigger picture that you're not seeing. So a lot of times these type of people will tell you to, that you are, fucking um, tweaking when you're not even tweaking, because you're trying to get them to see something, accept something, or be kind of fixed in a certain way and learn a certain lesson, and they're just refusing to learn it or refusing to see it because they are looking at it like they are more flexible in that regard, and that choice that they made at that particular time wasn't written is as in stone as you're taking it. This is kind of what the nature of mutable shit. So and they will never fucking, a lot of times mutable signs will never fucking apologize to you. You know what I'm saying? Especially a motherfucking Virgo and a Sagittarius. You know what I'm saying? Sagittarius, sometimes they will. If you're a true friend, then sometimes they will. But for the most part, like, a Virgo will never fucking apologize to you. So, and mind you, typically, well, I ain't gonna say that. So, mutable signs start off with say Sagittarius, right? Sagittarius is the mutable fire sign. So, when you say mutable fire sign, what you get with this, like I said, it's too much fire. So, how can a Sagittarius be an agent? And an agent is regard to, a lot of people don't understand what an agent is. When I say agent, this means it's like, you know, um, constant. For example, one um, scene from, one example used from the Matrix, from the movie The Matrix, where Agent Smith and the agents that was in there. The same day, Agent Smith eventually took over the whole world. Like, everybody turned into agents. So, like, when an agent typically is like somebody who is kind of sleeping their own degrees, and like they don't really know that they are like doing super typical shit in the regards to their element. You know what I'm saying? Like untrained degrees of their particular element. So they stuck in this shit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, A Sagittarius can do this in certain regards to like risk taking, like totally unnecessary risk on based on this principle of like circumstantial, opportunistic shit. So like a Sagittarius will go to fucking Las Vegas and gamble all their fucking money and blow all that shit. You talking the house, the fucking savings, and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like totally on this, like it's too much fire. You know what I'm saying? So like when you think about a fire, like it's spreading like this, like a fucking like in the forest fires, they had these fucking like the fires that just keep fucking spreading and don't never go out. They take fucking 15 different fire departments come in and try to put that shit out and they still don't go out. Like this is what you get when you get Sagittarius shit. It's like they fucking move through life like this. Like they take like big stupid ass risk. Like you know what I'm saying? Like on one hand, if you're not necessarily living day to day, if you're not the spouse of a Sagittarius, you're not living day to day with them, then yeah, they make great friends and shit like that. But like if you're a spouse or you a son or you a sibling or some shit like that of a Sagittarius, this is like you're talking like total fucking, you know what I'm saying, total disregard toward any type of logic, any type of outside perspective, you know what I'm saying, and that you know what I'm saying, that's not mutable in that same regard. And they're like, these motherfuckers are swagger jackers in a lot of regards. So like they don't appreciate, you're saying, the people that's right there next to them, or the people that's like they're on the day-to-day grind. They appreciate like the new big idea or the new fad or the new fucking, you know what I'm saying, like what they call it, hipsters, that type of shit. Like they're like the new fad or the, whatever's new, like they appreciate that shit. You know what I'm saying, more than like the people that's really loyal to them. You know what I'm saying? So like they can, like you talking about fire, like okay, social dynamics, it's kind of like a Gemini, which is a total opposite of a fucking Sagittarius, but in that same social dynamic aspect, it's like they all over the place, and they're like, they know this person, they know that person, they know this person, they know that person. So a lot of times, just like with a Gemini, if you with a fucking Sagittarius, you may feel like, you know, they selling you short, and they're like, you just part of a fucking a game. Like you'll hear them, you and Sagittarius run the same game on, you know what I'm saying, that they ran the same game that they ran to you, they'll run that shit on the next motherfucker. Like, so you be like, nah, fuck, that's the same shit he told me. You know, they had a scene like this in that movie, I think it was called Black Dynamite, you know, when she was kicking in some game, and then the other girl knew the game, and she knew it was memorized, she's trying to expose it. It was funny, you know. You know what I'm saying? But like Black Dynamite is that type of character. And, like he had like these little catchphrases and sayings and things. He said these little stories and shit that he had packaged. And like it sounded interesting for the first time, but like then when you start to hang around Sagittarius more and more, you hear they telling the same story, and it's like packaged. Yeah, like Gemini do the same type of shit. You know, so like you start to sit back, you start to realize that, wait a minute, like, you know, there's nothing special about you. You don't feel like there's nothing special about you. Like they do this shit to everybody. You know, they kind of spread themselves thin in that regard. You know, but you know, it takes you a while to pick up on it. So you know, this is how Sagittarius behaves. Two other ways Sagittarius behaves is like, you know, Sagittarius are notorious cheaters. You know what I'm saying? And like, mind you, like their whole shit is geared to their shit is geared toward that's not bad. Sagittarius, just like a lot of other motherfucking police here, turn this shit right the fuck back on. A lot of Sagittarius, just like a lot of music besides, are geared towards destruction. So like you talking about a marriage, a lot of times that shit is a good thing. Fuck police. A lot of chances it's gonna end in divorce, or it might end up in, you know what I'm saying, Sagittarius or cheating. So saying Sagittarius are notorious cheaters, and they are fucking very destructive in regards to the way they talk to their spouse, and like the way that they talk to the people that they love. Like they don't give a fuck. And like when shit hits a certain regard, like when their ego kick in, with them it's like I said, it's too much fire, it's too much ego. So like they don't know how to turn this shit off. Especially like Sagittarius women, I've seen them, they are very fucking destructive. Sagittarius women can be very fucking destructive, especially when it comes to like love matters, love relationships, shit like this. You know what I'm saying? They will literally burn down their whole fucking foundation just based on principle. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen this a lot. Sagittarius women make you even wonder if they even loved you at all in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not what you think. That's the other thing too about mutable signs in general, is that It's never what you gotta call him back. It's never what you think on the surface. You know what I'm saying? So like, um, it's more like a fantasy. You know. And speaking of fantasy, this is what we talking about Pisces. Pisces is a mutable water sign. You know what I'm saying? Like, this sign literally is like one of my least favorite signs. When they are, you know what I'm saying, in this same regard, when they act like agents. You know what I'm saying? Because like these are one of the last people who think it's like it's impossible for me to be an agent. You know what I'm saying? Like Pisces, we talking about water, but too much water. You know what I'm saying? You talking about water that's destructive water in regards to like the emotion floods the relationships, it floods the house, the fucking the belief system floods the social dynamic. It's just like it's too much water, it's too much fantasy. You know, there's no regard to foundation, no regards to reality, there's no regards to day to day. You're saying hustle, grind, shit like that. Like you're saying certain Pisces women could be you know saying addicted to like social media, posting pictures and shit like this, and fucking playing to the fantasy regard. You know what I'm saying? So like because like Pisces women kind of see things from a certain perspective that like they kind of see men as like I don't want to say stupid, but like um, they think that they understand men better than men understand themselves. I call you back, motherfucker. So you know what I'm saying? They kind of look at motherfuckers like they stupid, or like you know saying, but then this is why Pisces women a lot of times they attract to losers. You know what I'm saying? So like if you're the father of a Pisces woman, a lot of times you look at the spouse that they choose and shit like this, you be like, man, what the fuck? Why the fuck is she with him? You know, so if you like the brother sister, like Pisces women a lot of times will date losers, like total fucking losers. You know what I'm saying? So like if you in a relationship with a Pisces woman, you know what I'm saying, and then y'all break up and then you see she get with a motherfucker that's like a total fucking loser. You know, so I see this shit a lot. You know what I'm saying? Um, and it make you realize that you was a motherfucking loser. Like you know what I'm saying? Like Pisces women are like uh serial daters, but they date losers. Like you know what I'm saying? Like motherfucker, and like it just get worse and worse. And you like, why the fuck did she even pick him? Like Pisces women fucking date dudes and be in and out of jail. You know what I'm saying? So I know like my brother's fucking ex. It's a perfect example. Like my brother's ex, like every motherfucker she ended up dating, she met that motherfucker while he was in jail. Like she went to jail and like actually met motherfuckers that was in jail and started dating. You know, my brother's fucking ex. Saying, and like you can't even explain none of this shit. So you can't even tell and see, make her see none of these patterns. Like, right, that's another thing too. Like mutable signs in general, they fucking totally reject patterns. You trying to make them see patterns or pick up on certain things. Like they don't see none of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Virgos kind of will naturally see this. That's not true. Like Virgos and the Earth sign, like they are very good at picking up on patterns. You know what I'm saying? The problem with that is that like, well, I don't want to get into that, but yeah, as far as Pisces, literally, Pisces are dreamers. Like they say, Pisces are dreamers. They're not dreamers. It's fantasy. It's the difference between dreams and fantasy. You know what I'm saying? A dreamer, everybody has dreams, but everybody don't live in a fantasy. Pisces live in a fantasy world because like they literally cannot fucking like live in the real world. They've gone too far over into the fantasy world, into the dream world. You know, so you really have to understand the Pisces belief system. And a lot of their conversation is not based on, you know, making a point per se. A lot of their conversation is based on having a good time and being friendly, these type of shit. So like, you know, Pisces will come at you day to day, week after week. You know what I'm saying? With dream after dream, idea after idea, and you be trying to execute these ideas, and you don't know that they be saying this shit just to pass the time. They be, you know, basically talking to themselves, talking to a fantasy, but they just want somebody to stand there and listen to that shit. And you be trying to execute that shit, and then you realize these motherfuckers just talking right in their motherfucking mouth. You know what I'm saying? So this is examples of how Pisces can be agents. Pisces men are agents, and like you know, they're very blameless in regards to, in that like they don't never accept accountability. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of times, you know, saying women who date Pisces, they'll kind of see that shit in regard, and they're like, this motherfucker don't never like take ownership into the things that they do that's negative toward the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Um, nothing. Pisces, a lot of times I've always seen this some crazy regard, and you see Pisces son with a Virgo mom. You know, and that Virgo, this is some mutable shit in general, and then like this is like the blind, literally like the blind leading the blind. You know, Mary, the mother Mary was a Virgo, and Christ was supposed to be. A lot of people believe Christ was Pisces. He wasn't. He actually, I believe it's Aries. But just for the sake of we talking about the age of Pisces, you know what I'm saying? The Virgin Mary gave birth to the age of Pisces. So you got a Virgo Pisces relationship. So when you see that, you think about can you talk about mutable energy and you think about all the things that's in the Bible and the New Testament, the principles that's all in there. It's exactly what you're talking about. It's like, loving your enemies and you know what I'm saying? This is all this mutable shit. And it's like, okay, well, you love your enemies. If I'm your friend, what the fuck does that put me in? You start to see just like the same thing you see with a Gemini, like they treat their friends, their enemies basically the same because there's no separation. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, you're like, damn, like it's mutable, they're changeable. Their ideas are not fixed. You know what I'm saying? One day they hate this motherfucker, the next day they love him, the next day they hate him, the next day they love him. And it's like they move back and forth through this shit. They cut people off, then they welcome back into their life. They block them on fucking social media, then they welcome back into their life. This is beautiful shit in general, especially Pisces. You know what I'm saying? Pisces will cut you off, still everybody fucking with him, then a week later be right back over there telling you how much they love you, how much they need you and appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? This is Pisces. So it's like I said, it's all through the emotional realm. It's not based on the reality of the things and the actions and what was actually done and accountability thing. It's about just based on like a fantasy in their world. So it takes a long time for a lot of times for people to realize that you have to just sit back and let Pisces go through these fantasy things and let them spell the whole thing out and don't act. You ain't got to act on none of that shit in their mind. They feel that they've already done it just by going through the ceremony, having somebody listen to them go through these fantasies. You see what I'm saying? L. Ron Hubbard, you know what I'm saying, who created Dynex. Perfect example. Somebody with Pisces, what the fuck I'm talking about. All right, so speaking of Pisces, with Virgo, you said Virgo is a mutable earth sign. So you think about mutable earth, you know what I'm saying? Virgos can be real good, pay attention to detail, shit like this, and you know what I'm saying? Because you talk about earth but mutable. So like this is like how things kind of break down in some regards. And you literally talk about patterns and numbers and being able to see the patterns and numbers and things like this. Like Virgos is real good at this type of shit, but at the same time they are terrible at that same aspect makes them terrible in regards to like stability and like actually seeing a foundation that like everything is constantly like these numbers are constantly changing, the food is constantly changing, the house is constantly changing, the car is constantly changing, the job is constantly changing, the money, the you so say like everything is constantly changing. So on one half, it seemed like a good thing until you really step back and started realizing that, like, when you start realizing what the Virgo verse is, and then, like, this is why a lot of times paperwork don't line up. Things ain't never what it seemed on the surface. Like, you get with a Virgo motherfucker, it ain't never what the fuck it seemed on the surface. And, like, you meet them, or, like, if you understand who they are from a distance, especially, like, you understand who they are before you meet them, and then you meet them, you're like, oh, man, wow, I heard a lot about you, all that type of shit. And you realize, like the more time go by, you realize, oh, that shit is bullshit. Because it's like, everything that's how Virgo put their best foot forward is just like an image, but then you realize that the foundation ain't really there. So everything you start to realize like everything is an image, everything is it's a front. It's like a business front. It's not even fucking authentic. So like they'll Virgo, especially like Virgo men, you know what I'm saying? Virgo men, their whole fucking relationship be authentic. Like Virgo men are notorious for like having 2-3 women, like 2-3 baby mom. Like a Virgo man would get like 2-3 women pregnant at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Virgo women have a whole nother family. Virgo men have a whole nother family with another woman. You know what I'm saying? And you won't even know that shit. And you find out this motherfucker been dating her for like fucking years on end. You know, this is how they be agents. Virgo men also too, like, since you meet up with them, you be trying to set up shit thinking it's on business or like whatever it is that you trying to, like, if you meet a Virgo guy and you trying to do business with him or you trying to, you know, do some shit based off the way that they putting themselves out. Like Virgo motherfuckers will put themselves out there a certain way. So then you try to build with them on that certain way, and you realize you be like, okay, they run you through all these type of hoops and fucking bullshit, and then you realize like ain't none of these hoops even based on no real shit. It's just based on fucking bullshit. Like they'll run you through all type of fucking scenarios and based on their mind and make you think that it's real pressure and real fucking degrees, and they'd be like, no, it's just bullshit because like they're fucking changing. And they'd be like, oh no, I don't like that. Maybe we do it like this. Oh no, I don't like that right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? They thinking this is like what's the, like them critics? You ever watch the motherfucking TV shows with the motherfucking chefs and they fucking critique the food and shit like this? You know what I'm saying? It don't necessarily, a lot of times it don't even be based on the way the food tastes. It just be the way that they feel at that moment when they take the motherfucking food, believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? You give them the same food and a week later in a whole different spot, they'll taste it and they'll fucking love it. The same shit they said they just ate it a fucking week ago. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of shit to be like I said, it's mutable. It ain't really a no foundation. It's just like, okay, this is what the fuck is in right now. This is what the fuck is trending right now. This is what the fuck I'm on. So like this is the way the shit gonna play out. You know what I'm saying? So and mind you, like Virgo men, Virgo women are the same totally in regards to like what I call battle of the sexes, and then like they will stay stuck in that regard and arguing. You know what I'm saying? Just based over traditional aspects of like what the fuck, like any fucking relationship go through. You know what I'm saying? But like they'll walk you through that shit and be like, okay, well, and sit and argue over shit that motherfuckers been arguing over about for the past 100,000 years, just in regards to men and women in general. But like they'll sit there and do that shit like they saying some profound shit that like ain't nobody said a fucking every fucking relationship they been through. Every motherfucker that said this shit and been through these same principles, like to a Virgo, like they will stay stuck running these same principles over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Just based on the fact that, you know, they don't have they don't even have this is like I said in the other video, like it's an old mind. You know what I'm saying? So like you talking about battle of the sexes, it's like Virgo is based on like, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of like kids, like innocent boy girl principles. Like you know what I'm saying? So like, but not just boy girl, but it's like the type of boy girl, the type of the style of boy girl. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of even though it's the style of each other, it still plays out like in man and woman. It still plays out in boy and girl. You know, so they have a, you know, as they grow and mature and they go into like fucking puberty and shit like this, and they start learning about sex and fucking shit like they have um I don't even know the word, but it's kind of like that thought can get skewed or lewd. Like a lot of Virgos are into like lewd shit. You see what I'm saying? Like kind of exploiting the fucking the tits and ass or the like the male aspect of like, you know, dick and, you know, and not just dick but like also like security and money and like, you know what I'm saying, like a lot of women are feminists, you know what I'm saying, shit like this, and like a lot of fucking male men Virgos are like douchebags and like they're fucking like fucking what you call them, my cheat, what's the word, I don't even know how to say that word, they're like fucking chauvinist fucking pigs, like fucking douchebags and shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, so you get this with, you know what I'm saying, with Virgo who don't know that like this is a degree and they ain't came out that degree yet. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times they can get stuck in this shit. It's too much earth. You know, so you think about too much earth, it's like it's the same thing. You talk about boy girl, I mean boy crazy or girl crazy in that regard. You know what I'm saying? It's too much earth. So it's like ass and titties, everyone fucking like dick and ass, everyone like, you know, so like this is, they get stuck in this type of shit, you know. And same thing with food, and they're like they can be addicted to food and like food recipes and watching food. Like they're like Virgo motherfucker be in a couple of just two people living in a house, but it'd be a whole freezer or a whole refrigerator full of fucking food that they ain't gonna even eat or they don't even want to eat. You know what I'm saying? It's be fucking sitting there. You know what I'm saying? So you got this type of shit going on. So yeah, these are like I said, too much food. Like the fucking abundance of food sitting in the freezer, they ain't gonna fucking eat. I'm saying thing, a big ass house, big ass storage locker, full of items and like material items and possessions that they don't even want, but they can't throw out because their house would be the winner of foreclosure and they got a whole storage locker full of shit. This just be sitting there for fucking 10, 15 years. It's too much earth. It's too much shit. So this is Virgo. And then what else you got? You got fucking Gemini. Gemini is air. So you'll see a lot of Geminis are good with communication and socializing and being able to stay up to date on the latest apps and the latest technology and putting you on and introducing you into these things. You know what I'm saying? That's a good thing on the surface, but this can be a bad thing when you start to realize that, like I said, you are just part of a pattern, especially in the air and the social dynamic. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you think you made a connection with this motherfucker, they're gonna make you feel like you ain't made no connection whatsoever because you're gonna hear them go from person to person and have the same exact conversation that they had with you with the next person. And you start to see this is just a routine, this is an act, but it's not just a routine, it's an act, it's like a huge act. Like they gonna do this with everybody. Like it don't matter who the fuck it is, like they'll walk up to, like I said, well, dang, I'm saying like that. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's like in that regard, the same things that you gonna feel special about you that made you think that that's why they chose you. You gonna start to realize like, no, they can feel somebody. You can obviously look at somebody who's nowhere near as special as you are, but they're going to approach them just as special as you are. You know what I'm saying? So like a Gemini have a whole family. That's the same reason a lot of regards, like these mutable signs, they families be like, you know, they have like 2, 3 families. They always be in a step family or like a step spouse, some shit like this. Like especially Sagittarius and Gemini, because like they break up, they fucking get a whole new family, step parents, step brothers, step sister, all this type of shit because like there's no solid foundation and like they out just looking for something. You know, Sagittarius, I seek So it's literally that they out looking for shit. They out, you know, seeking, but like it's more seeking than finding. You know, so like it's just like in the Gemini's aspect, it's like they they have like, you know, sometimes you got to say things and think things out loud. You know, Gemini's are these type of motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So like, but you be thinking like if you are Taurus, you hearing this motherfucker say one thing and then say the total opposite thing, like that's gonna fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? But like to a Gemini, like they just be saying shit and changing, and they go through this with life experiences as well. So it's like, okay, this is my wife, this is my husband, this motherfucker I'm with. But then you start to realize like, no, this is somebody who I was with at the time. And they turn on that person, they go get another person, and you be thinking that like there was something special about what you had, and you realize there was nothing special about what you had. They were just going through a phase, you know what I'm saying, of that type of love style that they were going through at that time. You know, so this is what, you know, and mind you, they are Geminis are open to do this with anybody. They like Geminis are like whores in that regard, and they can be agents like that, and they like some of them can be literally fucking whores, but you know they can be, you know, when they get stuck in their own dynamic and they think they're right in their regards toward the air dynamic and socializing with anybody or like making that connection with anybody, they can't appreciate the shit that they got a lot of times. Like they want to appreciate their spouse. They kind of look at their spouse as like a fad. Like, okay, there's like a pair of jeans that they don't want to wear no more. Like, it's like, oh, them old jeans. I don't even wear that shit no more. I wear these type of jeans now. You know, I don't listen to that type of music no more. That music is like, I met you when this type of music was out. Now this type of music is out. You're not up on this type of music, so I don't like you no more. Or like, I met you during this type of conference when this thing was trending, but now the new shit is trending, and you're not on that no more. You're not trending with that, so I'm not into you no more. And they look at you like they just got caught up in a fucking trend. But you looking at it like a real connection, but like they looking at it like, nah, well, this is just some shit I was going through at the time. So that foundation is not solid because like they got caught up in the hype, you know, and now the hype is dead. The hype is gone. So now they looking for that next buzz. They looking for that next fix. They looking for that next hype. You know, they're looking for that next connection. And they want to keep running this routine over and over again with whoever, whenever. So this is how Geminis can be agents in that regard. You know, say it's mutable air. It's too much air. You know what I'm saying? So they all over the fucking place. Their social media is full. Their email is fucking full. Their phone is full. You know, their everything, man. Their friend request list is full. You know, and then at the same time, you know, they Gemini's are kind of what they call two-faced in that regard, and that even though they'll tell you they're not two-faced, you know, but to their friends and their family, they'll say that they are. You know what I'm saying? They'll like a lot of times they feel totally betrayed. You know what I'm saying? Gemini, how you feeling totally betrayed? You know, and at the same time, Geminis will take things too far when it comes to like, you know, uh, dealing with, you know, family issues, dealing with problems with like, you know, like they'll take the shit too far, and you know, and not really, you know, show the real compassion that they supposed to understand. You know, like they just like just be like it be two-faced shit. Like they'll tell you some shit and then go behind your back. It's like kind of like Aquarius a lot of times. Like a Gemini can lack a lot of integrity. Like, you know, and they're like, and then in your face, they say it and they mean well, but like just as soon as they walk away from you and they having a whole other conversation with somebody else, like that conversation is just as important to them as your conversation. So like everything is constantly put on hold to the last minute until you get in their face and pressure. Man, what the fuck? I thought you said you were gonna do that. And it's like only then will they fucking honor what the fuck they saying. Because like they looking at all these conversations as equal. So even if you do have a deep, good connection, like to a Gemini, it's like, you know, when it play out, it's still gonna be. It's never what the fuck it seems. Like I said, with all mutable signs, it's never what it seems when it play out. You know, because you're gonna see like they're gonna be passive with it. They're not gonna take what they said to you as serious as you took it. Because you was caught in the hype, you was caught in the movie aspect of it. You was caught in the, you know, the way that they charmed you and said the things that they said. Gemini's are very smooth talkers and they understand how to say. They naturally salespeople. They naturally hustlers. You know, they naturally are good at meeting random people, like hundreds and hundreds of random people on the street in one day and talking to them and running the same routine and trying to figure out, okay, what I did wrong this time and they trying to sign people up for something or trying to get people to do a survey or some shit like that. Like Geminis will I have the ability to sit there and talk to hundreds and hundreds of people and figure out what they did right this time and what they did wrong this time. Like Jehovah Witnesses, for example, like knocking on the doors and shit like this and talking to hundreds and hundreds of people. Or if they selling something on the street or they passing out flyers on the street, like Geminis are really good at this because they walk up on everybody. Like I say, it's too much air. They kind of spread themselves thin in that regard. You know, so like even when they do make a real connection, that connection is not as deep as you think it's gonna be on your end as it is for them. You know what I'm saying? Because like they all over the place. So it seems like it's deep. They'll sit there and have long conversations with you and everything, but it's like as soon as they hang up the phone, the next conversation that they have is just as equal, if not even more important. So this is how Gemini's are agents. And like Gemini, a lot of Gemini women can be fucking cheaters in a lot of relationships, and they do shit behind their man's back. A lot of Gemini women are prostitutes. I don't want to say prostitutes, but like I know a lot of Gemini prostitutes. That's the only reason I even say that shit. Like Gemini women don't mind exploring sexuality through aspects of not necessarily emotion and connection, but more just on the social dynamic. And then like you can meet a Gemini woman somewhere and just connect with them just that night and have a one night stand. Like Gemini women are real good for having one night stands and shit like this. And like, you know what I'm saying? Just based on like, instant attraction, instant connection, just having sex and like boom, it's no, like they call it no strings attached. Gemini women, a lot of Gemini women can have sex with no strings attached. You know what I'm saying? So if you in a relationship with a Gemini woman, you know what I'm saying, she can wake up one morning and just realize that she was want to have some no strings attached sex and go do that shit, and you'll never even fucking know. You know what I'm saying? So Gemini women will have 2, 3 baby daddies and shit like this a lot of times when they, just trying to figure out where they are sexually. You know what I'm saying? So they making connections based on the latest trend. I don't say latest trend because it's just like the latest thing, just based on the latest social dynamic. What the fuck was going on? They making real life long connections like this. Like, no, that's not a lifelong connection. That was just somebody that you liked and somebody that you probably should just had a sex relationship with, but like they be trying to find, you know what I'm saying, shit just kind of like a sex, like they out here, it's mutable, it's air, it's all over the place, spreading itself thin. So, these connections are not as deep as you thinking they are if you want to receive an end in that relationship. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, that's how Gemini's are agents. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we did Sagittarius, we did Virgo, we did we did Gemini. We did yeah, we did Virgo. Right? Yeah, we did all of them. That's it, right? Yeah, okay, so that's all of them. All right, so yeah, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I think I did all. Yeah, I did all. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. You know what I'm saying? Leave a comment. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you listen to the next radio. Yada 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 yada. Let me get all the comments in below. Subscribe. Blah 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 blah. All right, I'm out. You dig.